Hello everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel. In today's video, I'll be sharing some new products from Waffle Flower's February 2022 release. This release includes a new oversized word stamp and die, also includes some layering flower dies, and a new die set that is called the Designer Template 1 die, which is such a cool concept and I can't wait to show it to you. I'm going to use all these new products together on pretty much every card that I create today. So let me just flip through exactly what they are and how they work. This is the Oversized Miss stamp set and word die. I love Waffle Flower's oversized dies. You can use the shadow die to cut out the Miss stamp or the Miss die cut. And there's tons of little sub-sentiments. These are the layered flowers die. You get two different sizes of flowers, two different sets of leaves, and flower centers as well. This is the Designer Template 1 die. Now, this set of dies has some basic shapes, including a flag, a couple of little flags, a scallop stitched edge, some sentiment ovals, just lots of different things that can be built up to create a quick and easy layered card. And I'll share different ways to use it in today's video. So there are also on Waffle Flower's website some example ideas of how you can layer up these die cuts to create lots of different basic cards that will get you started on your design if you struggle with design or if you're just feeling stuck. I'll also be using a couple of foil plates from Waffle Flower's last release. Now let's use everything to make some cards. For this first card, I used that triple diamond foil plate to use some gold foil and the Spellbinder's Glimmer machine to foil that diamond plaid on some pink cardstock. And I'm going to use the Design Template 1 to cut out kind of this main shape. It's kind of the larger shape in the die set. I also cut out a scallop out of white cardstock and some flowers out of a darker pink cardstock than the foiled piece. So you can see I have an A2 piece of darker pink cardstock, same as the flowers. I'm going to layer up that first layer and then add my scallop on top, flip it over, and then cut it off. This way you have a long enough piece to go in different directions, but for my purposes, I just wanted it 4 1/4. So once that's done, I kind of have a nice basis for my card. And the other thing that I'm going to do now is pop up the flowers. So my card designer tip is to have some things flat to your card and some things popped up. And that gives lots of dimension because you have your background that is sort of flat and then you have these elements or embellishments that are popped up. I'm going to add to the top of these flowers, instead of die cutting the flower centers, I'm going to add some enamel dots from Waffle Flower. These are from the Enchanted collection. And then I'm going to use tape runner to adhere those little leaves behind the flower. So again, just layer upon layer, some dimensional, some flat. I'm going to use the Oversized Miss stamp set, and I'm going to treat my cardstock with Rabbit Hole Designs anti-static powder and then stamp the large Miss in Versamark or embossing ink. And then I'm going to pour some gold embossing powder right on top. So we have that foil background, and then I'm going to heat set this gold foil and it's going to create a foil sentiment. So that's another like card design tip that I really like, is to repeat some elements multiple times on the card. So if I'm using gold foil on the background, I might use gold in my embossing on the sentiment as well. And I decided to do the same thing with the sub-sentiment. At first, I was going to do the sub-sentiment in black, but if you look at everything, it's all pink and gold, a little bit of white, a little bit of green, right? And I just felt like black was going to be too contrasty. So again, I'm popping up the Miss on that plaid background there, so you have that gold plaid that's flat to the card and the Miss that's popped up. Just lots of ways to use that design template to create some really dynamic cards. I'm going to start this card out with some gold foiling on that triple diamond foil plate as well. So again, used my Spellbinder's Glimmer to apply that foil to some 100-pound white cardstock from Hammermill. And now I'm using some pattern papers from Waffle Flower. These are the Botanical collection, but you can see I'm doing the same type of thing, and yet this card looks very different. This time I have the flag over the center that has the gold foiling on it. I've stamped Miss You More Than Anything, which was all just sub-sentiments, on the little oval kind of piece there. And again, the flowers this time are cut out of pattern paper. So you can mix these up, add some little enamel dots around there, and have a totally different card using that same designer template. And that's why I love it so much. I think it's so unique because it really just jumpstarts your card making with different designs. This time I'm going to use the solid foil plate, and I used it to apply gold foil to some of those layering flowers dies. So I die cut them out of that white Hammermill cardstock, and I die cut the Miss out of white Hammermill cardstock, and I used the solid plate to apply the foil to those die cuts. And it's a really simple way to get foiling on your die cuts. I also die cut some of the elements from the template set in white cardstock, and I am matching them to that dark blue in the background by ink blending them with some chipped sapphire. So it's not the same exact color as that background, but it's pretty close, and it just gives another look to that blue so that it's not all exactly the same. It gives a little bit of interest there. I'm going to stamp one of the sub-sentiments for the Miss in some chipped sapphire ink on that smaller oval. I'm going to apply that large piece again, this time in some Enchanted pattern paper, and then I'm going to apply the tag on top. I really love that tag. And then I'm going to add the little arc to the top in that dark blue. Okay, so I'm using a little bit of Ultra Bond on the Miss die cut that I foiled with gold. I'm going to place that down on top. So this time I'm not popping that up because I'm not using the shadow. I'm just placing it flat down to the card. So pretty much everything here so far has been flat. So I definitely want to pop up the gold flowers. And again, I have gold in 3 spots. I have the large flower at the top left, small flower at the bottom right, and the Miss right in the middle. And that 3 little element there of gold really draws the eye diagonally across the card. And I love that sub-sentiment, Miss hanging out with you. I just think that's fun. So there's lots of great sub-sentiments in that oversized Miss stamp set that you can use for friends and family and lots of different people in your life. This time I'm going for a simple look. I'm going to use JJ Bolton's JJ's Rainbows pattern paper. The great thing about Waffle Flower's pattern paper pads is that they're 8.5 by 5.5. So if you cut them in half, you get 2 A2 panels. Okay, that is the solid foil plate. I'm going to use it with Spellbinder's rainbow foil. I've die cut the shadow for the oversized Miss and run it through with that solid foil plate. And that allows you to apply that rainbow foil down to that shadow die cut that we created. So I die cut the Hammermill once again and then applied the foil with that solid foil plate. I'm going to just kind of line everything up and then stamp the sub-sentiment, this time says your smile. And then I'm going to pop up that shadow of the die cut right where I want it on the card. So I have the pattern paper in the back that's rainbow, the shadow is rainbow, and this way I can die cut the Miss, the actual word, out of white cardstock and apply that right on top of that shadow with some Ultra Bond liquid glue. And I seriously love that rainbow foil, but I especially love that solid foil plate. It just makes applying foil to die cuts so easy. And I'm just gonna put that little dot right there. And that's a clean and simple but fun rainbow card. I love that rainbow foil so much I decided to try it with the triple diamond. And wow, that looks great too. Those colors are just fantastic. So I did trim it down a little bit and I went back to my designer template. So I cut out the flag out of black cardstock and I'm going to heat emboss with white embossing powder the You My Friend so that I can then put the triple diamond down on some white cardstock. So again, all the layers, right? Even though this is just 2 rectangles on top of each other, it does create some interest to have the white border around the edge and then that black flag coming down with the sub-sentiment in white embossing powder. So I did die cut the Miss out of white cardstock and the shadow out of vellum, and I love that look. It's just so pretty, but simple and clean. And I love the way it looks no matter what you're putting it on top of. So here I decided to hide that adhesive behind the script miss once again and lay it right down onto that flag. So even if you only use one die from that design template set, it really helps you to create layers on your cards. I can't wait to hear what your favorite was today. Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to stop by my blog because there is a gift card giveaway to Waffle Flower, and you can see all the other products in the blog hop that were from this release. If you love checking out new products before you buy them, be sure to like this video, hit subscribe and the bell so you can be notified every time I have a new video available. As always, I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. Hate to get through the whole thing and then be like, because now I'm in a different spot apparently. And where are the words? Forget to stop my mom. Stop my.